Poor Things, starring Willem Dafoe, Mark Ruffalo, and most importantly, Emma Thompson, just came out, or actually it hasn't come out yet, I guess, at this point. I saw it on Friday, December the 16th, 15th, whatever that date was. And it drops, on this Friday on the 22nd. And yeah, I got to see it early. This is a Yorgos Lamos movie, which is, always super exciting. His movies, while, not always being my favorite, are at the very least always visually interesting, tell weird, unique stories, and really break down what it means to kind of make a weird indie obscure movie. He's kind of the one of the kings of that right now. With The Favorite and what else has he made? The Lobster I also really loved. Dogtooth. I don't really like Killing of a Sacred Deer at all, but that's for another day. But with Poor Things, I felt like he had finally hit his stride with The Favorite. I really love The Lobster, and from what I can remember about Dogtooth, it was good, but excuse me. Those two movies kind of pale especially Killing of a Sacred Deer, pale in comparison to The Favorite. That movie is so well acted and so well paced, and just gets you thinking, And I love movies that I don't know, try to throw stuff at you to kind of purposefully disorient you, but also tell a fantastic story, which that movie really did. With Poor Things, I saw the trailer for this back, I want to say, in September, and instantly was like, I need to see that movie as soon as I can. I tried to see it a week ago. I thought it was coming out December 8th because for some reason all the trailers said it would. I'm going to go on a little mini rant here about that. I can't stand it when they're like, oh, released this day in like every trailer that they show, but it's really just a limited release, like in a major city, and then you really don't know when the actual release date is. That shit is so stupid. Stop doing that. Like that is not a way to build hype for a movie. It is how you completely halt a movie's momentum. Stop fucking doing that, please. Sorry. I hate it when they like limited release movies. I like going to indie theaters like early, that's cool. But like if you say if it's in the trailer it says a release date, don't let it be the limited release date. Put the main release date in the trailer, please. Jesus Christ. It is. And if you look it up and it has like 7 different release dates, Google, gets confused and just shows you the first release date that it can find, and it's normally like a festival date, which is not even a little bit helpful. I'm gonna get off my soapbox there, but yeah, I really can't stand it when studios do shit like that. Anyway, with Poor Things, it looked so visually entrancing, and I love Emma Stone in pretty much everything she's in. And again, I'm a pretty big Yorgos Lanthimos fan. He's not like my absolute favorite director out there, but he is one of them where when he puts out a movie, I'm going to go see it. And Willem Dafoe looks like that. So yeah. And I have to say, this is my favorite Yorgos Lanthimos movie, and it is one of my favorite movies of the year. And it took a little to simmer, and I wanted to wait a couple of days to really do this review. I was going to release it early, but I decided against that. I'm going to release it, on the day before it comes out. And I purposely did that because this movie is a lot to take in on first watch. There is so much happening, and specifically, I had an issue with the pacing at first. The pacing towards the beginning of the movie feels a bit choppy. I felt like at points they ended scenes too quickly, or the flow of the jokes were not hitting, and it kind of felt not in bad taste at all, but like the jokes felt too easy. They felt like low hanging fruit some of the time, and I don't know. I didn't find them as funny as I do in retrospect now viewing the entire movie. So Poor Things is mainly about the character of Bella, discovering who she is and being uncompromisingly herself, and visiting these worlds and learning about larger concepts, and and greed and all of this stuff. I don't want to you know spoil it too much, but she just goes on this crazy adventure meeting these characters that just do not understand her, and it all, yeah, it all just worked for me. It is easily Yorgos Lamos's funniest movie to date. He I felt like every joke, um, once I settled into it, just was hitting over and over again. And every time I wanted them to make fun of something, they would, and like, yes, thank you for going there. That was awesome. And one, Emma Stone completely dedicates herself here to a really strange character, which is something she can do, very, very well, as we saw in The Favorite. But I think here she really brings it to the forefront and just overly commits, and it's fantastic. She puts everything into this performance, her physicality, her mannerisms, the way she kind of like looks blankly at everything. I just felt like it was all perfect, and she made Bella such a heartwarming and relatable character because of how she's going on this journey of self discovery and being completely uncompromising about it. I felt like that was fantastic. Everybody else also does a great job. Mark Ruffalo, I think he was the funniest he's been maybe ever. It's not his like greatest performance, but he was hilarious. He was, again, not overselling, but selling every line with everything he had, and it made the humor hit that much, that much more. Willem Dafoe is fantastic. He always is. The guy from I guess it's a spoiler. Never mind. There's a couple actors that show up in this movie that aren't in the trailer that are a welcome surprise. Um, anyway, I want to definitely talk about the environments here because holy shit, are they amazing! This is how I want my movies to look if I ever get to make them. They're just so detailed and so dream-esque, but also like a twisted fairy tale. There was definitely an element of that throughout this entire movie. It is definitely very much a hero's journey and an adult fairy tale. And I love storytelling like that. And Yorgos Lamos's style fits like a glove into that genre. He needs to stay on this path and not I don't know, make more pretentious crap. Anyway, I really, really enjoyed how each world felt so lived in, and each environment that they go to felt very distinct. I feel like an issue you can kind of see with these kinds of movies is they boast these very unique sets that took hours and hours to build, but they all kind of look the same. No, all of these sets and environments look very lived in or have very distinct motifs, and I absolutely loved that. I loved how just how everybody accepts the quirks and intricacies of this world as normal. Obviously, besides Bella, and yeah, it like it felt like a fever dream that everybody bought into, and so it worked that much more. It elevated into something even more, and honestly, into something super powerful. This is a movie that I felt like I needed to watch because of how I don't know. At this time in my life, I'm 19. I just finished my first semester of college. It's difficult, living with yourself. And this movie, I felt like, is something I needed to watch at this moment. I don't want to spoil why, just because of how much I loved the third act. But other than that, I mean, yeah, it gets pretty powerful towards the end. And yeah, I feel like with Poor Things, this movie it encompasses everything I want out of a weird indie movie, right? It has incredibly talented actors completely buying into the concept. It has a director with a very clear and distinct vision that we don't get to see very often. It tells an intriguing story that can work on a subtextual sense with all the metaphors and stuff like that, and the symbolism. There's a shit ton of that in this movie. But it also works on face value as being super entertaining and a weird absurdist comedy as well. I really can't think of anything that turned me off to this movie. I can't really think of anything that didn't work for me. Again, it took a little bit to settle with me, but once it did, I really didn't even mind the odd pacing of the beginning because it resolves itself within the first 10 minutes. So, yeah, Poor Things is very close to being perfect and is definitely my favorite Yorgos Lanthimos movie, and I'm going to give it an incredibly strong A plus. So, excuse me, Jesus. Yeah, I'm burping up a storm here. Um, yeah, like I this movie just hit every button that I wanted it to. It was so funny. It was so intriguing, so visually pleasing, so well acted. It is just the perfect way to do this kind of movie, and I haven't seen it done this well in a really long time. There are a couple movies that I've given the same score to as this that I like more on like a personal level, but to me, this is one of the most airtight movies I've seen in a really long time, and I absolutely loved it. Don't get me wrong; like it's still a big personal favorite of mine, and expect it to be high up on that end of the year list. Yeah, we are officially winding down. It is as of recording this December 18th. We only have a couple. We still have a decent amount. I feel like of new releases to check out. We have Maestro, which is coming out on Wednesday. We have Rebel Moon, which is a Zack Snyder movie. We have the new Aquaman. We've got the Iron Claw, which is the one I'm looking forward to the most, which is the one I will be giving a solo review to most likely. Not most likely, will definitely. The other ones are kind of up in the air. But if there's any movies that I haven't talked about throughout the year that I've missed, please let me know in the comments because I am at the end of the year briefly talking about a bunch of movies that I didn't get to review here, but I've reviewed on my Letterboxd, and I'm gonna be like reviewing a bunch of 2023 releases in one sentence. So, give me some suggestions for that. If you have any favorites or least favorites that you want me to, voice my opinion on, please let me know in the comments. Did you guys see Poor Things? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments. And other than that, I will see you with the next review.